Joel Collins, welcome to Palmetto Scene. You have written extensively about Magna Carta. What is the fascination to you as an attorney?
Well, as an attorney and as a citizen and as a teacher, I believe that an understanding of Magna Carta and the impact it had on people's way of thinking and perceiving the relationship between the state and the individuals permeates all the way through to the time of the American War of Independence, right on up to our Constitutional Convention in 1787. The rule of law, the idea that popular sovereignty should be the concept upon which our government is built. Due process of law. Clause 40 of Magna Carta says, "To no man will we deny or delay justice." What could be more fundamental to the American way of life than that?
You have pursued working with students in South Carolina to really impart the understanding of the Constitution. Why is the Magna Carta so important to young people?
Well, I think you're referring to our James Otis Lecture Series, the program we have each year in the State House. We teach a course about the Constitution because by law, every school in South Carolina, and every school in the nation, private or public, if they receive any type of federal assistance, they are required by law to have a program about the Constitution. And as we study the Constitution, we easily can draw upon its sources, and that's why we study Magna Carta, because if there's no Magna Carta, there's no movement that leads to the Constitution of the United States.
And how does this help these young people in terms of their citizenship and their becoming engaged as voters and citizens of the greater country and this state?
Well, I believe every American citizen has the duty, the obligation to be informed. You cannot be a good participant in our democratic system. You cannot be a good juror in a court of law if you're not mindful of what those rights entail and where they came from. And I believe that young people today need to be more engaged than they are. We do studies to show how aware they are of our government and how it operates, and the statistics are very poor. And we're trying in the American Board of Trial Advocates to do what we can to correct that.
And how do you turn around, for example, the rate of people voting? We have an election coming up this November, and it's an off year for presidential elections, so the expectation is there won't be a huge turnout. If people learn about the Magna Carta and more about the Constitution, will that help?
Well, I can't think that it would hurt. I think it would help a lot. I believe among those people who do go and vote in off-year elections or any other election are people who know and understand the issues, who are educated, and who appreciate the opportunity to go in and cast their vote. And I believe that if more people were well educated, then they would be inclined to participate in those elections as well.
And why is it important, especially for citizens in South Carolina, to understand the Magna Carta, given the revolution and the special situation here?
Well, your question causes me to recall a little speech I made in England not too long ago, and I ended with the observation that when the American colonies bowed their back and rose up and sought freedom, they were just Englishmen acting like Englishmen. And I think Magna Carta is an illustration of what people do. You know, there could have been a violent overthrow of King John. There could have been regicide. And fortunately for us, that didn't happen. And we have to give credit to William Marshall, the great knight that you heard Sir Robert refer to. And we also have to give credit to Stephen Langton, who was the Archbishop of Canterbury. He is the man who brought the two sides together, who kept the conversation going. He reminded King John that there were instances in history where kings had given up power or guaranteed rights to others. He reminded King John of the coronation charter of Henry I, which was issued in the year 1100, 115 years before Magna Carta.
So the notion of persuasion then can be more powerful than the sword, is what you're saying.
That's right. And thank goodness. How could we have any peaceful change in our society if people weren't willing to persuade and be persuaded?
Thank you very much, Joel Collins.
Thank you.